We're live.
You are listening and watching Any Given Sunday for Sunday, November. What date is it? 7th. Oh my God. I know I'm a little rusty, guys. Sorry. November 7th,
Jeez.
2021. I am your host, Manny Brown, joined as always by my co host, Josh Rodriguez. Josh, what is good?
I can't believe it's November.
Has
Just not
this
feeling
year
well.
has just like this year's just like flown
It's
by.
ridiculous, man.
It's crazy how fast this year's gone. Like it just feels like a blur. It feels like an actual blur. It's crazy.
2022 is in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I still
Yeah.
feel like I'm in 2019.
You feel like it's I feel like I'm in 2020.
Yo, 2020 is just
2019. What's that? You know, when the world was normal? Oh God, that's crazy. But yeah, glad to be back. My apologies. It's been a little bit of a delay since our last program, about 3 weeks or so. If you look at the cool background, I am not at home. I finally sold my house, guys. I've been talking about this house adventure for a while now, right? Since you guys have been listening and watching the show. I've been trying to sell this damn house. We finally sold it. So I'm in a hotel conference room. Coming to you guys live, reporting live. But yeah, sorry for no show the last couple weeks. Life has gotten in the way. Of course, I've been selling a home and moving, and as you guys can imagine, that is awful, literally awful. And then Josh has had some stuff going on, so just life's gotten in the way. But we're glad to be back. No hiatuses after tonight. We'll be live. Obviously we'll take some time off for the holidays and whatnot, but we're basically here to the end of the year. So yeah, glad to be back. What's going on with you, Josh?
same old man. Certified Buckets is up and running. So just getting that ball rolling, still working on the dime. It's basketball season now, man. I know football, we're in the middle of football season, but it's basketball season for me as well.
Is it sad that I haven't paid like a drop
No, it's
of
not sad
attention
because people
to?
honestly, unless you're like a huge hoops fan, which I consider you to be a hoops fan, but I don't know if you're like a huge hoops fan. The season
I
doesn't start till Christmas for a lot of those people.
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a Laker fan, so I am a huge hoops fan. It's
there's a
just
lot to
that
talk about
I'll
there.
be on. Well, listen, I don't want to make it sound like I haven't watched any games. Of course, I've watched the Lakers, and
Yeah,
we don't even have enough time on this podcast tonight to discuss all the issues there. But I've been like I know what's going on. I'm keeping I know what's going on. I know who's playing. I know who's playing well and who's not. Listen, I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of thoughts on this early NBA season. Maybe I can make an appearance on the dime here shortly.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, again, I forgot who said it this week that the NBA regular season is kind of boring. It kind of is, sadly. It's like,
I get a kick out of it. Maybe
I
just
mean, no,
because
no, don't
I'm a
get me
fan,
wrong.
and the Knicks are good for the first time in forever, like
Well, yeah,
expectedly good.
yeah. Well, I'm a Laker
So
fan. It's like we're not we don't care about the regular season. When the Lakers are good, we're like, okay, let's
eh,
fast forward to the playoffs. Like,
privileged NBA
listen,
fan.
very much so privileged. But who knows? But the way the Lakers are going, and Russell Westbrook continues to destroy franchises as he sees fit, we might be in the playing game again. LeBron decided he's taking a 3-month sabbatical again, and yeah. Oh, sorry, injury. Sorry, injury. So yeah, that's the state of affairs with my basketball team. We're a shitty defensive team. We're old. We're slow. All the things that we all said was going to happen. But
Right.
hey, we're haters, right? Because we brought these things up according to LeBron. But anyways, yeah. And Caruso's playing well in Chicago. Lonzo's playing well in Chicago, and other former Lakers are playing well, like Kuzma, the Wizards.
Julius.
Remember people said when Kuzma left the Lakers, he'd be like a plumber. And he's
Yeah,
actually
I do
playing
remember that.
well. He's like one of the leading league leaders in rebounding. See, I see. I paid attention. I'm paying
There you go.
attention.
There you go.
Montrezl Harrell's playing well.
Very well.
Yes.
Very well.
Haven't kept up with Schroeder, but Schroeder's
he's
Schroeder. It's Dennis
he's
Schroeder. It's
yeah.
whatever. The Celtics have way more issues than keeping up with Derek Schroeder, so it's fine. Yeah, I've been keeping up. I know the Celtics have had their issues. We can't blame Brad Stevens anymore. There goes
No,
that.
that's true.
The Knicks have kind of had an up and down start to their season. They
Weird
kind of got
start.
off to a hot start, then they've kind of struggled. They've lost some games they probably should have won. Listen, I've been keeping up.
Losing games they should win, and winning games that not that they should lose, but that
It's
come off those
early.
impressive victories.
It's early.
But it's a bad start in my mind.
Even with the Lakers, man, like I think the NBA season, I think October, November, it's pretty much an extended spring. It's like for baseball, it's an extended spring training. It's an extended preseason, essentially. That's what it is. And I know people don't like to hear that, but that's the NBA season in a nutshell. It's like October, November. Honestly, Christmas.
For the Lakers, yeah, but for Knick fans, I mean, coming off a 6-3 start, like that's huge for us. It's a big deal. It's not preseason. It's like getting off the right foot and proving everybody that you guys are for real. Which we have done in a little bit of a way, but we also proved that, hey, we're not there yet. When you lose to the Magic and Cavs and Raptors at home, you kind of.
But that's what I'm saying. It's early. It's still a feeling out process. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The teams now aren't going to be the teams in February. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's the NBA season is weird like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't put too much. Even with the Lakers, like, yes, they've gotten off to a bad start. Am I going to necessarily say that this is going to be the Laker team in May? I obviously no. A lot of things can change from here to then. And same thing for the Knicks. So, it's kind of hard to it's hard to really read into a lot of stuff going on right now because the NBA season is a marathon in a lot of ways.
Right.
So, we'll see. But I get it. You're a fan. You see some things that you don't like, and you want the team to clean it up. Same for me and the Lakers. Like, yeah, I get it. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's Ben Simmons still in psychiatric evaluation.
I think he is.
Yeah,
I think he is.
I wish I could,
being fined for it right now.
Oh, okay. I wish I could make like $25 million and have like mental health issues, just quote unquote. Not real mental health issues, like deciding if I want to play somewhere or not. And calling that mental health. Man, why wasn't I born like 6'3", 6'4", with like court vision? I could have been somewhere.
Ben Simmons is like 6'10".
I know, right? But I'm being nice. I'm being reasonable here. Of course, if I was 6'10", geez, sky's the limit, right? But the NBA season is what it is. It's just there. It's in and out of the clouds. Ping me December 25th, and then we'll have a different conversation. We'll see. But I will say this. Golden State's back.
Yeah, they are 1,000%.
Golden State's back,
and they're going to be scary when Klay comes back. They're already scary.
They're scary now, and then you get Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
and they have pieces to trade if they want to. That's why I said it. I was like, man, they're reloading quietly, and no one's saying anything about it. Everybody's focusing. Everybody was dancing on their grave, and the dynasty's done, and all this other shit. And I kept saying it. I'm like, listen, they've got picks. They're making smart moves. Watch out.
They're back.
They're back. I mean, I don't know 73-9 back, but they're definitely back. They're definitely back for sure. They're definitely being back. Listen, I got an itch to talk about the NBA now.
You know more than you let on to believe.
Yeah. It's okay. But hey, we're not here to talk about basketball. We've had a probably the wildest NFL Sunday. And for sure this season, probably in a long time.
Yeah.
Week 9 of the NFL season. What are your 3 standouts from this past week?
Well, Bills losing to the Jaguars for one. I guess it kind of mixes in with the Chiefs as well. It kind of seems like this whole backyard football offense type of stuff is like not working anymore. It's just, I don't know. It just looks sloppy. Doesn't look cohesive. It looks really random.
Is Mahomes hurt? He has to be hurt. I
don't know if he's hurt. I just feel like defenses have kind of caught on and
I don't
figured a way kind of just confuse him. He's not as decisive as he used to be. I don't think it's injury, man. I think he's legitimately struggling with some coverage reads and things of that nature. He just doesn't look as decisive to me. But I don't think he's hurt.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, you're not wrong. I just can't believe that the guy that just he was on track to being there. I mean, he's still there. I don't get me crazy.
No, but he was like the best player we've ever seen.
Ever seen at the position for the first 3 years of his career, and all of a sudden now he can't read defenses. I'm not sure I buy that. I don't know. I don't know if there's an injury. I don't know if there's something more there. And I'm not making excuses because he hasn't played well. But that's the Chiefs thing is interesting. But go ahead.
Yeah, so it's that. I was ready to crown the Cowboys, man. I was ready to do it.
Yeah, about that.
I was ready to say these guys are for real. But
Hey,
Cowboys going
listen,
to Cowboy,
I
man.
was buying in
Oh
too.
my
You know,
goodness.
I had
I was
before the
in.
injury, I had Dak Prescott for MVP.
I
You
was
know,
in, man. I was all in.
was that game more about the Cowboys or was it more about the Broncos? Broncos played well.
Broncos, that's definitely more about the Cowboys. 1000%. Their offense was not in
Broncos,
sync. I know Denver played well, but Denver just got rid of Von Miller. It's not like Denver's going to be these contenders or this playoff team. They basically sold their best player
they
away.
did,
Just
but
gave him
Denver has
away.
a lot of talent. You know, I think people
No,
kind
I
of
mean they're a
forget like
decent
Denver.
team, but they're a
Yeah.
500 team. They're not a team that's going to be making noise in the AFC.
Denver's one of those teams that's frustrated. That would I would be frustrated to be a Denver Broncos fans because you'll see a performance like they had today, and they can do that to a lot of teams,
Yeah,
and then they'll go out and lose to the Jags 45-10, and you'll be like, "What? Why?
they'll
How
lose
is
next
that?
week. I don't
How is
even know
that
who
the
they're
same thing?"
playing next week, but they'll lose next week.
Right. So that's
Right.
like so they're that type of team that's just like
Right.
maddeningly frustrating. But yeah, listen, I got to give the Cowboys a little bit of a pass just because I think being without Dak. Well, first of all, they had an emotional victory last week,
Right.
and I do think there's stuff to that. You know, there's a little bit of a carryover to that. I think that there was also, you know, obviously getting Dak back, incorporating him into the offense. Dak hasn't practiced in like 2 weeks. You know, there's a little rust there. I think that I'm not going to sit there now. Okay, that's it. The Cowboys are done. They're not making the Super Bowl. They're not making the play. Like, I'm not going to go that far. I think the Cowboys were due to have one of these kind of slip up games. And if you think about it, a lot of teams had these kind of games today. So
It happens. Yeah,
that was kind
as
of
long as it doesn't tie into like 2 or 3 games in a row, right? That's when it starts getting kind of
yeah
worrisome. I mean, even with
yeah
the Chiefs are winning games, but they don't look right. I think that's why I'm kind of worried about the Chiefs as opposed to other teams.
yeah. I guess my three themes for this week. It's parity, NFL parity. Number one,
Yeah.
I think this is a wide open league right now. I really do. I think the AFC is the most wide open conference I've ever seen. I don't know who is coming out of the AFC, and that's I mean honest with you. You
It's
know,
a crapshoot.
I don't believe in the Bills. I've said that since day one. I don't believe in the
Yeah.
Bills, and today further established that. You know, the Titans now have a huge injury. I know they got a huge victory on the road, so that kind of calms things a little bit with, you know, with my opinion of them. And you remember I was high on the Titans.
Yeah.
The Derrick Henry injury is a big blow to them because he's their identity. So I'm still a little skeptical on the Titans now, long term without Henry. You know, everybody else is kind of just everybody else. You know, the Chargers got a big win today on the road, but they've had a kind
I
of
don't
little bit
believe
of
in them in their
scatterbrain.
defense. Yeah.
Yeah, their defense is a little bit off. You know, I still think the Chiefs, man, as bad as they've played,
Same.
as a whirlwind of a season that they've
They get
had,
it together, man.
I think that they still, you know, listen, right now you're putting money right now, Chiefs on the road against the Titans. You're not betting money that the Chiefs will figure out how to win that game.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, the
You
only
know,
team that maybe worries me is Buffalo and Buffalo. But even Buffalo, like you said, I'm not really sold. I'm not
I'm
sold
not
on
really
anybody in
sold.
the AFC. That's the
I'm not
thing.
sold on anybody. You know,
You
even
can
the
convince
Steelers. You know, everybody's been shitting on the
Steelers,
Steelers all
please.
year. No, but think about it. You know, listen, Ben is not the quarterback that he used to be. Obviously, we all know that.
Yeah.
But if they listen, Ben is not a guy that's going to throw the ball 35 times anymore. If you can limit his touches to 20, 25 times again, run the football with Najee Harris and play that defense,
But they can't
travels.
run. No, I get what you're saying, but they have a tough time running the football. That
I
offense does
know.
not move the football enough.
I know.
To me, I think a dark horse is the Browns. I think a lot of people are forgetting about them. I know Baker has struggled, but that defense is solid. They can control the clock with the run game. And Baker, if you can have him, what you said about Ben, 20, 25 times, make simple throws, make the right throws, they'll be fine. That, to me, is a dark horse.
I keep hearing about
because I don't believe in the Bengals, by the way. After not even just what happened today.
The Bengals are a young team that kind of got a lot of publicity early on because they got off to a hot start, and now it's kind of catching up to them. And Zach Taylor isn't exactly Paul Brown, so yeah, I think the Bengals are probably peaking a little bit of a year too soon. But you know, I think they'll be a playoff team, but or at least vying for a playoff spot. But
I don't think
I don't think the Bengals are this like universal lock. Listen, I think I think nobody's talking about the Steelers. Listen, they have too much talent on offense to not figure it out eventually. I can't believe that team can't just figure out. Listen, again, they're not going to be the Steelers of Antonio Brown and Ben of old. You know what I mean? They're going to be a pedestrian offense, but I still think that defense is legit, and that defense travels.
It is.
And you know, I'm not even ruling them out. I think
if they could run the football better, I would be more in on them.
Baltimore. Like, I don't even know what we're getting with Baltimore. One week you love Baltimore and you think, oh my God, they're gonna go to a Super Bowl and Lamar's the MVP. And then other weeks you're just like,
Even
why
when
did
they
they
win, it's like it's really ugly and
Yeah.
like sloppy and desperate.
Yeah.
Like today, their victory was like against
Yeah.
Chiefs. Same thing. They had to come back, large deficits at home. Lamar has to pull plays out of his ass.
Right.
I don't know how you get confidence watching that as a
Yeah.
fan.
And I said parity across the league. I mean, even the NFC, I just think that this week showed that I don't think we have a great team. I think maybe Tampa is the closest thing to a great team. Arizona, are you going to say Arizona's a
Arizona's the
great
best team in football right now, but I don't think they're great.
Yeah, the Packers without Aaron Rodgers, and we'll get to that. They've had some issues. I think this week exposed that. Listen, I think this league is wide open right now. Even the NFC, the Packers can make it out of the NFC. The Cardinals can make it out of the NFC. The obviously Tampa's got to be in the mix. Even the Saints, if they figure out their quarterback situation, that defense is still good enough. I know they had a stumble against the Falcons, but the Falcons have actually played pretty decent this year, all things considered. And of course, it's a rivalry game. So anytime those two teams play, it's a war. Yeah. Again, right now, water gun to my head. I just don't, I don't know. I don't know who I'm picking for the Super Bowl right now. It's wide open. I mean, the Rams, everybody's throwing bouquets at the Rams, and they didn't exactly light up the world tonight.
Honestly, that was two plays inside of this whole game. Like those back-to-back interceptions from the Stafford. That was game. That was a whole game right there.
Yeah. Stafford reverting back to Stafford from Detroit.
It just flipped the game upside down. Like that whole game was awkward because of two straight plays.
Yeah, and hey, give the Titans credit, 30 man. Seconds. They lost their best player to go on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think give the Titans credit. That's a hell of a win, and they've had some big wins this year. I mean, some huge wins. So I think that the one theme from this weekend is it's a wide open NFL. I mean, really. My second theme is can we slow down on Josh Allen? Can we honestly I feel like the media wants Josh Allen to be something so bad. Like all I've heard, and listen, the kid has enormous talent. I don't want to sit here and make it like Josh Allen's a scrub or a bum or anything. No, he's a talented quarterback. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But you listen around the league and some media people, I mean, they basically have a yellow jacket already fitted for him. I mean, can we slow down?
Right.
Can we slow down? He still has moments of just make you scratch your head, and performances like today that just make you like, really? And what gets me angry is because these are the same people that criticize Lamar. Lamar breathes a certain type of way,
right?
And we're basically criticizing him. And I'm like, Josh Allen kind of has a lot of bad games.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So yeah, I let's slow down on Josh Allen before we crown him. Matter of fact, we might have met the best Josh Allen in the NFL.
We did. Josh Allen outperformed Josh Allen today.
Yeah, the Caucasian Josh Allen did not show up to play today. Oh, I was loving it. I was loving it. I was loving it. It gave me a special piece of me inside that just loved what I saw from that Jacksonville game. But no, I think the Bills are kind of getting exposed. I still don't believe in them. I really don't. I think their offense is still too one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They don't run the football very well. And their defense, it's okay, but that defense got to prove to me that they could get big stops in big spots.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody loves their offense, but I don't believe in their offense. To me personally.
No, I'm with you on that. It's very hit or miss. And outside of Stephon Diggs, like, who else is going to really make plays? Emmanuel Sanders is older. You have Cole Beasley every once in a while, but he's out of the slot. I mean, like, consistently make plays for that team. So I don't know. They're a team that I'm not really too high on either, to be honest with you. I never really was. I think going into the season, both of you and I both called it that they're going to be as good as people say they were going to be. I think people are counting them way too early.
Yeah. And my third theme is kind of a two-pronged thing. Jordan Love is not it. I'm sorry. I know it's one game.
It's one game, Manny.
It's one game, but let's just say he wasn't giving me visions of Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers
he was bad.
The past. He
was
didn't
really
play
bad.
well. Listen, I'm going to give the kid a break. It is one game, and That's a
In
hell of a
Arrowhead.
place in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. Say what you
Yeah.
want to say about the Chiefs, and their defense actually remember how to play defense for a change. So who knew? So yeah, I'll be nice to the kid and give him a break, but yeah, I don't know. I was not impressed. Let's just put it that way. And again, I talked about it earlier. I think we're throwing dirt on the Chiefs way too soon. Listen,
Yeah, I
I know
agree.
today's performance wasn't stellar. I know Mahomes even today looked like a struggle, but I still think that team's got a shot to make it to a Super Bowl. I really do.
Yeah.
Even with all their flaws, even with all their deficiencies, they're still a damn good team, and they're going to figure it out. They're too good. They're too talented to not figure it out. They have issues. They're flawed. They're not as good. And I think there is some attrition with that team. They've basically been to what? They've been to 3 straight AFC Championship games. They've been to 2. They were 2 straight Super Bowls. I get it. There's a little bit of attrition there, but I still think that team is, when it is all said and done, I think they will be in the mix.
I do too.
In the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a wild week. It was a wild week of the NFL on the field and off the field. You want to start with Ruggs or Rodgers?
Yeah, let's go. Let's start with Ruggs.
Yeah, the Ruggs thing. I'll let you start first, man, because I have so many things to say about that. That's crazy.
I mean, there's really no excuse for it. I feel horrible for the family of the victim and what happened. I think that her name should be remembered, and there should be absolutely no excuses whatsoever about why it happened. Not that I don't think Henry Ruggs and his family deserve some empathy, but at the same time, I think a lot of times people in the press, especially sports media and coaches and things of that nature, they tend to kind of talk about the player and the ramifications for that player first. Well, it's like, no, like let's take a step back. There's an actual victim who, I mean, in my mind, Henry Ruggs should be going to jail for a pretty long time. And, and we shouldn't, not that we shouldn't be empathizing with Henry Ruggs' family, but at the same time, like, let's take precedent and let's acknowledge who are the real victims in this situation. And it's just a shame because players in the NFL, for those who don't know, they have services. They have car services that will take them to and from anything that they go to. There's literally no excuse for what happened. None whatsoever.
None.
There's just nothing. And so for me, I'm just not willing to give any rope to someone like Ruggs, who made such a stupid decision to not only get in the car and drive drunk, but to drive as fast as he did in a road that he did. There's just no excuse for it. And it's just disgusting. I feel horrible. There's nothing else to say. There really is nothing else to say aside from the fact that he fucked up and he should pay the price for it. And I feel horrible for the family.
Yeah, this thing is stuck with me all week. It's something that has bothered me all week. I just hate hearing about this kind of stories. And first and foremost, condolences to Tina O'Tinter and her family.
How you pronounce the last name? O'Tinter?
O'Tinter, I believe, is the
Tina O'Tinter.
Tina O'Tinter, I believe. If I'm wrong, my apologies.
Yeah.
But my condolences to Tina. Horrible way to die. 23 years old.
Yeah.
23 years old. Died, burned alive in her car with her dog. Oh my God. This whole thing bothered me so much. And with Henry Ruggs, it bothers me because, 2 lives essentially, 3 lives were extinguished here. Tina's obviously the dog.
Yeah.
And Henry Ruggs. I mean, his life is over. His life is over. I mean, he'll still be alive. He's not going to get the death penalty or anything, but you know what I mean? Like, his life is over. He's going to spend the maximum 43 years in prison, if not more. It's just, I hate seeing it. And listen, I think you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I think you can absolutely hate and loathe what he did and also feel bad for the kid, because obviously he didn't go out intending to kill anybody.
Right.
Right. So having empathy is important because he has a family, and I get it. There's a lot of anger, and there's a lot of anger with me. I've kind of gone through a gamut of emotions. Of course, I was angry at first. I was like, why the fuck would you get on a road drunk, first of all? And then second of all, drive reckless like that. Like, that's criminal. I mean, it's just criminal is what you just did. You did a criminal action.
Right.
Whether intentionally or not, you committed a crime, and you should pay for that. And he will, but I think you can also be empathetic of, like, man, this kid
can be.
had the world at his fingertips, young.
Yeah.
picked the worst time to make a stupid mistake, and his life is going to be defined by it now. And that's sad. That's sad. I know some people disagree or don't feel exactly that way right now, but I just, that is sad. And I'm not saying it because he's an athlete or anything. No, I'm just saying if he was a cashier at Jersey Mike's, I would say the same thing. Like, he's got his whole life out of him, and he's done. Like, it's sad, and you just wish that someone along the way could have, and I'm sure they did. People killing Derek Carr, stop it. Listen, first of all, they have a relationship together. I mean, they're teammates.
Right.
And Derek Carr is the face of the franchise, the leader. I had no problem with what he said. He paid respect to the victim, but also said, no, it's sad. I'm going to love him. And that's his choice. That's his friend. I can't. Yeah. If you did it, what am I supposed to say? Oh, fuck Josh. Fuck him. He killed somebody. Like, of course, we have a relationship. So there's always going to be that. You know what I mean? I just, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. And it is weird, right? Like, if you have a relationship with Henry Ruggs, it's like trying to have a relationship with this kid that but also still be sympathetic.
I just think and
I will say this. I'm not condoning what he did. What he did was awful, and he should pay. I repeat that. What he did was awful, and he should pay for that crime. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the girlfriend, what the hell was she doing? She's riding in the passenger seat. First of all, she's thankful to be alive as well. And how do you let him get behind the wheel like that? I have so many questions. I mean, so many questions. I can't fathom it, man. I can't. I'm always someone that likes to put myself in these situations, in the sense of, like, I like to see from their perspective, and I can't.
Yeah, there's no excuse for it.
I can't even.
I think just coming from a perspective where, like, just on the level of, there was an accident, there was a person doing 158 drunk, killing another individual. I'm not saying that you can't look down the line and look at that person's life and say, oh, well, they're 22 years old and they threw their life away and XYZ. And that's not sad. It is sad. It is sad in itself. But to me, I just think my natural reaction is just to be like, okay, I understand that, but I'm more focused on the fact that he actually killed somebody else. And I feel my empathy for now goes towards that individual. And it sucks. I actually met Henry. I've talked to Henry Ruggs. I produced something with Henry. He was really nice, and I feel horrible because he was one of my favorite rookies I interviewed. I did this whole rookie thing with Uninterrupted, and he was a really cool guy. But at the same time, just because you know someone, and just because I don't have a relationship, but if you're your teammate, doesn't mean you can't acknowledge the effed up situation or the nature of it on the other side as well. And I think not so much Derek Carr, but I think there was a coach who pretty much kind of swept it. I wish I had the quote right now. I don't want to quote him.
Yeah. And Kadarius Toney. Said something.
Same thing. Kadarius Toney, same thing. So it's just kind of like, I just wish people would acknowledge the victim and her family first, Tina's family first, and then move forward from there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And listen, you're not wrong. I tell you the same thing. I went to the gamut of emotions. I was angry. I was upset. When I first heard the story, I'm like, oh, they've got to throw him under the jail. Like, he's got to go away for a long time. And I still feel this way, obviously, but it's I've become a little bit more empathetic, because I just can't fathom what would make someone get behind the wheel of a car intoxicated like that. I mean, this isn't tipsy. He was twice the legal limit. And my wife pointed out something amazing, credit to her, because her legal mind. So he was drunk, accident happens or whatever. Obviously, the ambulance comes, they check on him. They have to obviously wait on the police, all this. So there's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Let's say 2 hours for sake of purposes, between when the accident happens and he goes into the hospital. Because they don't take your blood alcohol level there. They take it at the hospital.
Oh, I know that.
So when he got to the hospital, he was still twice the legal limit. Think about that. 2 hours after the fact, he was twice the legal limit. So that means he was sloppy drunk when that happened. And you got to believe that the accident, the jolt, the adrenaline sobers him up somewhat, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
And he's still, 2 times the legal limit. You just can't explain it. You cannot explain it. And I think the other thing why this resonated with me is because I've been in a really bad accident before. And I almost lost my life in a really bad accident. Obviously, I wasn't drunk driving, but I've been there, and I can't even imagine. Like, I just can't imagine you being in an accident and you cause harm to somebody. How that feels, how that
Right. Yeah.
that sticks with you. You took a life like
Yeah.
that. That
It's not like he meant to do it.
yeah, and that's the
I
worst
get that.
thing.
I
It's
get that
like,
aspect. Yeah, I
and,
know.
and it's like, and then you see the videos of him being in Top Golf, just like an hour before that, with people just living his life. I just can't. I can't imagine. I can't wrap my head around it. And
Yeah.
again, I feel so bad for that young lady. Oh, I hate it. I just can't. Can you imagine that? Can you? And as a father, I have daughters. I can't imagine. I don't even want to imagine what that call must be like, because I don't ever. That's something you never ever want to experience.
Yeah.
So I feel so sorry for that family. Listen, I feel sorry for everybody involved. I really do. I really do. It's terrible. It's terrible. 3 lives have basically been lost.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. That's the takeaway for me of all this. And and the other thing, and we'll wrap up with this because it's too sad to even want to try to talk about, but it's sad because they're going to make him an example, and he probably should be an example. Like,
Well,
this
he should
has to
be.
stop. This has to stop, man. This has to stop. I don't understand these athletes. I don't know if it's a God complex. I don't know if it's just invincibility. I don't know what
He's
it
going to be
is,
the
man.
example for drunk driving the way Plexico was an example for carrying an unlicensed gun around.
But Plexico got off easy by comparison.
What? Plexico got off very easy. I mean, Plexico hurt himself, so
right.
you're going to get off a little easier.
But
yeah,
again, these athletes, man, you can't keep doing this shit. You can't keep doing it. I mean, that's why I'm so angry too. It's like, get a fucking car service, get an Uber, get an Uber. You have access to Uber, Lyft, anything, a cab, anything. A dollar van if you're from New York, like anything, like just, I can't. What would possess someone to get behind the wheel of a car drunk and then not even? And it's like, it's one thing to be drunk and like just trying to make it home. That's bad enough, but to get behind the wheel of a car and be reckless doing it, 156 miles per hour.
He wasn't thinking straight. I mean, if you're double the legal limit, you're not thinking straight.
And I know this may be, and I know this may be crass to say, but that girlfriend, like, how do you live with yourself letting him get behind the wheel and letting him drive like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're guilty by association just as well. My wife said she may get charged too. Like, she
really,
yeah, yeah, because it's like, if you knowingly let him get behind the wheel drunk like that and drive reckless, like, you might as well be an accomplice.
Wow, I didn't know that was okay. I see what you're saying.
It's a slippery slope, you know.
What's the charges there? It's like, is that involuntary manslaughter?
I don't know. I don't even know because it's such a crazy situation with, I'm sure for anybody that's listening or watching, legal experts out there, let us know. It's crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I think she should get charged. I mean, again, you got in that car, like, and I get it. Henry Ruggs is an adult. He's a grown ass man. He's going to do what he wants to do, but I just can't. I'd like to believe if you said, no, you're not driving, give me the keys or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it could have been different. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that, but I don't know. Yeah, terrible story, man. And again, condolences to Tina Tinter's family. It is it's such a sad thing to see and experience. I feel so bad for that family. It's terrible. It's terrible. And we really lost a young, promising kid that could have been so much more. Obviously this is lesser than the death, obviously, but
no, you're right. I didn't mean to come off crass. I meant to come off in a sense where it's just like,
listen, you're
like,
not wrong.
I get that side of it, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard for me to even at first, I put myself in a situation like if that was my daughter or friend, like how angry I would be.
Same. Same.
Yeah.
I'm saying all this shit right here, but if that's my daughter, lock his ass up. I don't have any empathy. We all wish that we could be that, but I get it. Not everybody. And I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm so above. Listen, I'm mad too. I'm upset. And again, I repeat, he should pay. The maximum amount of time that anybody can get for that kind of crime, he should get it.
Yeah.
So I'm not advocating for anything less, because he took a life and he did it recklessly.
Right.
It could have been avoided.
Right.
He could have let somebody else drive. He could have taken an Uber. That's the part that's angering. It's like someone lost their life that didn't need to.
Right.
And in a horrible way too.
Right.
23 years old. Yeah. Let's move on, man. I don't know if you knew this, but in the 13, 14, 15 years career, whatever, however long Aaron Rodgers has been playing, we have been in the presence of MLK himself. I didn't know that. Like, Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks who have ever played football, right? Like,
man,
you have said it. I have said it. He's probably going to go down as top 3 or 4 quarterbacks to ever play the game.
3, easy.
Amazing accuracy, beautiful ball placement. Just an amazing quarterback, right? But even beyond that, he is the voice of the voiceless.
He didn't say that.
He is the voice of the voiceless. He is MLK reincarnated. He's Malcolm X.
Oh my God.
He's James Baldwin. Like, he is a martyr for freedom and choice. And we should commend him for that.
No.
We should. I don't even want to criticize him. I want to commend him, because by him immunizing himself, he showed all of us. He showed all of us that there are alternative measures to fighting COVID-19 and not falling to, the woke mob.
Right.
By the way, I don't think you realize this. We're a woke show here. We're a woke mob.
Right.
Woke media.
Right.
Any given Sunday, the woke edition. That's us. Obviously, I'm joking. Aaron Rodgers, one of our favorite people to talk about on this show, right? Where do we start with this whole thing? I'll let you go first.
He lied.
Yeah.
Like, you lied in all this, and you are gaslighting everybody in the media and everybody in the public and you're making pretend that you didn't. You lied, dude. And the Packers are basically covering it up as well. They're culpable in this as well.
They're culpable in this as well. Absolutely.
And Aaron just went on Pat McAfee's show and he gaslit all of America. Mm-hmm. That's my beef with it personally. Like, that was like, all right, you're gonna lie about everything, and then you're gonna point your finger at those who are criticizing you and call us a woke mob in the first 5 seconds of an interview.
Right.
And that's the thing. And I admit I get triggered by that type of stuff, like calling people woke or like cancel, like when people invoke cancel culture, and it's like, shut up. Like, to me, people say that when they don't want to defend their positions because it's easy to say, because it's an easy thing to get behind, because those are things people don't like. People don't like wokeness. People don't like cancel culture. So if you accuse someone of being woke, if you accuse people of trying to cancel you, then all of a sudden, like, you have people behind you because people hate that shit. No one's trying to cancel. How do you cancel a football player? Like, no one's trying to cancel Aaron Rodgers. No one's trying to cancel you. No one's saying you should be out of the league. No one's trying to toss you out of the league. No one's saying anything. Everyone's just saying you lied about saying what your status was.
Just own it. Yeah, just own it. I mean, the level of privilege displayed here, it's so disgusting to me. Again, I said this on the show many a times. We literally live in a world where people in other countries cannot get this vaccine.
Right.
Dying. Numbers skyrocketing, deaths skyrocketing in other countries. Just go research India and vaccine shortages there, and in other countries across Asia. And we have it at our fingertips here. And we have people. And listen, I'm beyond the point of advocating for the vaccine. Listen, if you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. I don't care. People have their own beliefs or whatever. If you arrive at the point, if you do your research and you arrive that, hey, I don't want to get vaccinated because of A, B, C, D, F, whatever, I can respect it. I mean, I don't have to agree with it, but I can respect it. But if you don't respect that I'm going to get vaccinated, number one, give me that respect. If I'm giving you that respect, respect me. And then it's like, own your shit. Like, if you're not going to get vaccinated, at the very least, still partake in wearing a mask, getting tested, going through the protocols, doing those things. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, I'm not, I don't want to get vaccine, but I'm not going to do any of that shit either. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to go to protocols. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go in a packed elevator and just breathe on everybody. Like, you can't have it both ways. Right. And that's the issue with a lot of people in Aaron Rodgers of his ilk. People like Aaron Rodgers' ilk. They want to have it both ways. Yeah, number one, he lied. He bold-faced lied. And then to use it as like he's this martyr and voice of the voiceless, and he's not going to be, he's not a conformist, and he's not going to fall victim to the woke. Shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. Like, he's such an entitled, arrogant prick.
He is.
Oh my God, he's so unlikable. Like, it's just like, dude, you're a football player, a damn good one, but you're a football player. Calm down. You're not Harriet Tubman freeing thousands of slaves.
But he is Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. White people, white athletes, white entertainers, white celebrities, liberal, conservative, libertarian, wherever you stand.
Yeah,
stop invoking Martin Luther King's name. You make yourself look like a fucking idiot. Please.
Every time.
Please.
I have not once seen someone invoke his name and not made themselves look like an idiot.
You just made it's so offensive. I follow his daughter on Twitter, and she's just like,
oh, she kills everybody.
Yeah, kills everybody.
And I love the fact that she does that too, by the way.
Absolutely. Like,
it's really
you guys
important.
are offensive.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's gross, and it's offensive. Stop using MLK. Stop using his quotes. Stop using his literature and his writings and his teachings to, basically push a narrative that you want to push.
Right.
MLK was a hero. You arrogant motherfuckers are just ignorant and want to do your own shit. And that's fine. Just don't lie. Own it. Say, you know what? I don't want to get vaccinated. Don't lie about it. Own it. And that's it. And the Packers organization, because they're so afraid to piss off Aaron Rodgers and because they're so beholden to him, they let it go on. And they deserve as much heat. Everybody's been killing the Aaron Rodgers. They need to kill the Packers as well.
Yep. I agree.
They've got no scot free. Every single thing. LaFleur, everybody.
Yep.
Because they knew he wasn't vaccinated.
This is ridiculous. I cannot believe we're having this conversation. This is so wild to me, man. And his whole grandstanding about, like, I don't care about the right or I don't care about the left. Like, to me, like, and
bro, you revealed yourself when you use terms like woke mob and the liberal elites and all that.
Who are you virtue signaling to? Who are you virtue signaling to?
And that's the other thing too. Like, don't act like we're idiots here. Like, don't act like we're just jackasses.
But some people are.
Like, some people are. But
that's the thing. Like, centrism is like a disguise for, right wing politics. That's what bothers me the most. It's like it's like a Trojan horse.
Centrism is like PG-13 conservatism. Like,
yes,
it's like conservatism, but for the masses.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's like that. That's it is. I mean, listen, when you use terms like woke mob and woke media and liberal,
who do you think you're talking to?
You're like, come on, man.
Who do you think? Come on, man. When you invoke Martin Luther King Jr.'s name in the name of centrism, come on,
right?
Give me a break.
Right.
Like, stop it. Like, you're not fooling. He is fooling people. But a lot of people, I genuinely think that, though. A lot of people think that they are in the center. A lot of people think the whole, like, idea of that is being in the center, where it's like, no, you're leaning right, very right, more than you think you are.
And again, we're not saying he should get vaccinated.
Right.
We're not saying he should. Do what you want. But if you're not going to get vaccinated,
just don't lie.
And adhere to the public protocols. That's exactly it. That's my only issue. And what pisses me off, I don't care about the rest of Packers players. I don't care about the coaches. Yeah. You're gonna be a dick and get the lady doing the laundry at the stadium that's making $12 an hour that probably is forced to get vaccinated. You're gonna get her sick. You're gonna get her family sick. How about the people that are working the concessions, people that are working in the offices? Who gives? Nobody gives a fuck about them. They're barely making a livable wage, but we're gonna get them sick. Like, come on. It's classist, it's elitism, it's arrogance. It just drives me insane, man. It's like, to me, if you're gonna do that, own your shit. Own it. Don't go on Pat McAfee's show and basically go out there and act like you're MLK or you're Malcolm X or you're fighting for civil rights. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
while
no,
repeating right wing talking points that have been debunked over and over again,
and then pretending like you're not even
doing that.
You're not doing that, which is like it's an actual insult to our intelligence. Like, we know what you're doing, bro. Like, stop it. Like, stop. Like, just own it. Just own it. I'd be fine if you just said, you know what, this is what I meant. This is who I am. This is what I do. Whatever. But own it. Yeah.
That's all we're asking. Just don't lie.
What do you think this on a grander level? What do you think this goes?
Nowhere. I think he returns once he's healthy. He comes back and he plays, and everyone forgets about it by the playoffs. Before that, I don't think the Packers get.
You don't think the Packers get penalized?
They might. They might get fined, but nothing serious is going to happen. Like, they're not going to lose draft picks. Nothing of that crazy nature is going to happen. They might get fined. Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. He's going to be healthy. He's going to throw 4 touchdown passes on his return.
Everybody's going to forget about it.
Yeah.
I seen something like, "Oh, is his reputation permanently damaged?" No, it's not. Listen, if his reputation wasn't permanently damaged by his antics over the summer, how quick we forgot that this guy basically wanted out, threw the entire organization under the bus,
right?
And as soon as he came back and played well, it was all forgiven. That's how it is in sports.
All this does is validate everything everyone has been saying about him. That's how I look at it,
including his family members, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. It's tough, man. He is.
He took a picture with a 7-year-old one time, man. So he's a really good guy. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. And hey, listen, we're being really rough on Aaron, but he's an icon. Honestly, he's an icon, but he's not an icon for football. That's minuscule. That's piddly shit. He's an icon for standing up to liberal elites and the woke media, like Any Given Sunday, like First Take, like all these shows, right? The woke mob, CNN, all we're all in that mist of woke media.
Standing up to the libs.
Right. We're owning the libs. Not standing up.
Owning the libs.
Owning.
But also not siding with the conservatives. He goes to Joe Rogan for advice.
Yeah. It's one of those that
right.
It's like, come on, man. He's
gonna be on Tucker Carlson in 2 days.
I hate this. I'm surprised. Like Josh Hawley hasn't like put on a Packers jersey already and flaunted it on the Senate floor. Fucking oh god, I hate it here. I hate it here, man. I hate it here. Yeah. I hate it. We got people in countries that can't get the shit, but ridiculous. Aaron Rodgers, I'm immunized. I took ivermectin and listen, I'm not even, and I think that there is a discussion to be had about alternative medicine and alternative cures to that. I'm not even.
We all want that.
We all want that, and I think that there's a discussion to be had about that. But it's just like.
No, listen. Honestly, for me, that would be like if there was some type of alternative medicine where the people who are hesitant to get vaccines could take. Like, I would fucking like, to me that is best case scenario, because if you're not comfortable with a vaccine, well, hey, here's something else that if you're more comfortable with, you can take. Like, I wish ivermectin tested out to be like this immunization of COVID. It's just the fact is there's been multiple studies and tests done on this, and it just shows no effect whatsoever. Period. Like it just is what it is. We'll try to find something, but it's not that.
Yeah, man, I hear you 100%, loud and clear. And you're right. The Packers are going to get off scot-free.
Yeah,
because 1000%. It's Aaron Rodgers. It's the golden boy. If this shit had been Trevor Siemian, this would have been a totally different fucking thing. And everybody knows it. Let's not act. Let's not act. This is fucking Trevor Siemian.
He'd be out the league. He's out the league.
Matt Schaub.
Right.
A black quarterback. Let's not forget that.
Lamar Jackson.
They just allowed us. They just allowed us into the table now. So we're still not comfortably seated there yet.
Right.
This was Lamar Jackson. Oh my god. Man, I can only imagine if this was a black QB. Jesus Christ. But the things that would be said, Lord. Lord. Oh man. Man. I mean, listen. We still got Kaepernick in the news for just being Kaepernick. Hey, we're coming up on Veterans Day, so all you patriots out
next
there.
Week. Isn't next week Exclusive Service Week?
Yeah, it's Thursday. So you'll see that there'll be people saluting veterans and then people who could have been or should have been veterans, but decided not to because they were scared. But they still wear "Don't Tread on Me" shirts and buy M4s for shits and giggles.
Right. They wear their shirts, but then stand behind the police officers that are the ones who tread them.
Oh, listen, I figured out. I don't know if you knew this, but the Undertaker, the wrestler Undertaker, Mark Calloway, is like a huge right wing.
I did know that.
That is the reason. That is the reason why they lost to the Broncos so badly today. The Broncos saw the Undertaker with that bullshit ass shirt he had on, a thin line, and they understood the assignment. So kudos to Vic Fangio and that entire coaching staff and the Denver Broncos. They saw that fucking shirt Undertaker was wearing, and they understood the fucking assignment. They was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat the shit out of America's team." And
Isn't
soundly,
what's his name too? AJ Styles. Is he from Texas? No, he's not from Texas.
AJ Styles is from. Oh God, now you're exposing me. Shit, where is AJ Styles from?
I think maybe
AJ
Georgia.
Styles is from yeah, I think, or Tennessee. I think AJ Styles is from Tennessee. Oh yeah, he's
same as the Undertaker. Same, same exact.
Oh yes,
Randy Orton too. I hear.
There's a couple. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of them. Chris Jericho is a big one.
I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah, Chris Jericho.
That actually kind of surprises me.
Which pains me in my soul because
that surprises me. But I didn't know. I wouldn't have pegged him to be that if I'm being honest with you.
I don't think any of us would have pegged him to be like Undertaker. Like you always kind of like.
Yeah, you could tell. You ride in with a motorcycle, like
American Badass was a little bit too on the nose there.
Yeah, come on.
But
I thought Stone Cold would be a little bit more to the right.
Nah, actually, Stone Cold is actually
he's like he's very libertarian, or it tries to be. Yeah.
I think Stone Cold's just a regular dude. Like, yo, I don't care one way or like he doesn't get involved in it to one way or another.
Doesn't care.
Yeah, it's fine. But Undertaker, he is.
How about The Rock dropping the hottest verse of 2020? What the fuck is going on in this country?
I don't know what's going on in this world, man. I don't. Listen, we've reached a time in the program where things have gotten loony. I mean, we've reached a point in U.S. existence where shit has gotten loony.
I mean, everything we're saying is actually like factual, and we're talking about actual things that are happening. It's not
amazing. That's amazing. Did you hear that white supremacy is back in Virginia and New Jersey? Critical race theory is the reason that the Democrats lost, and we should all be very terrified because white supremacy is back and it exists. And Glenn Youngkin, of all people, is like the master of ceremonies for all KKK rallies ongoing in Virginia. Did you hear? I
did hear that, and I think it's true. I think every bit of it is true. I think progressives trying to force the Democrats to the left by, suggesting. I mean, just merely suggesting things such as, I don't know, pre-K, student
child tax credits, $15 minimum wage,
Medicare expansion,
right? Terrible policies that are only like 80% popular with the electorate, but
right.
God,
I mean, that's
but Josh. Come on, you're being unfair. Joe Biden's the new FDR. He's FDR incarcerated.
I mean, all this stuff is I'm sure he's going to sign executive orders to fill these needs that were not in the infrastructure.
No. The Senate parliamentarian.
Oh,
we have to, come on. We have to play.
Got you.
Have to do things the right way.
Got you. But he has this Build Back Better campaign that he ran.
The BBB, baby. The BBB.
Isn't that what's happening right now? Isn't that what he's trying to?
Yeah, matter of fact, now that I realize it, Build Back Better, he stole LeVar's thing, isn't it? Big Baller Brand or Big Baller Baby or whatever. It's Build Back Better.
Oh God, please, don't let LeVar.
I hate it here, man. Listen, I hate it here. Man. Somehow the media and the Democratic establishment took them getting their asses handed to them on Tuesday and blamed it on progressives. Progressives who are as weak and neutered as they've ever been.
Right.
But somehow it's progressives that, it's Pramila Jayapal that's to blame why Glenn Youngkin won. You know,
Manny, I was throwing up watching CNN. Throwing up.
Oh God.
Physically ill.
Listen, I turned on MSNBC for 5 minutes and I couldn't.
I couldn't do it anymore.
I couldn't.
was like,
Not to you know what's the most disgusting thing about MSNBC? Because CNN's its own issues, but like MSNBC, like they literally have Nicole Wallace, who served in the Bush administration. That fucking ghoul. They
Right.
have her as like this. But who the fuck wants to listen to what Nicole Wallace has to say?
55-year-old
Yes.
women in New York City.
Yes. Oh, hey, speaking of women, how about the white women that overwhelmingly voted against Donald Trump and for Joe Biden just a little bit over a year ago and then voted for Glenn Youngkin?
Well, I mean, they're allies, right? I mean, feminism is the same across the board.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Just absolutely. They weren't getting what they wanted out of the Democratic Party when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Well, it's the critical race theory, guys. Critical race theory.
It's scary.
That's what it is. It's scary. It scares us.
It's scary to tell the truth. The truth is a very hard thing to face.
But it's not even like real. Like I said today on the Vanguard, or yesterday on the Vanguard. Shout out to the Vanguard for having me back on again. It's not even like real critical race theory that these people are talking about. It's like faux liberal, white liberal critical race theory. Like, hey guys, like let's all watch Black Panther and like look to our colored kids next to you and just hold hands and hug. I don't think that's critical race theory, but okay, got it. It's God, I hate it here, man. I can't even.
Democrats will lose the culture war when it comes to that aspect of our culture every single time. With that,
why are they so bad? Why are they so bad at politics?
You know what? This is where the conspiracy theorist in me comes in. Sometimes it feels like they lose on purpose, dude.
I don't even. Is that even a hot take?
Here's a reality situation. Here's a reality situation. You have lobbyists who give money to politicians on both sides of the aisle. It just is what it is. Yeah. You have your mansions and your cinemas of the world who are collecting money from different parts of the healthcare industry, pharmaceutical industry, coal industry, XYZ. At the end of the day,
Kristen said it was cool. She wears jean jackets and yoga pants to, a session of Congress, so that makes her cool. She's progressive. She's progressive.
At the end of the day, I'm becoming the issue of having money in politics is coming up on my power rankings of like things that I want to fix in this country. Like it was like Medicare for all and fixing institutional race. Right, of course, like there's ways to fix systemic racism by doing things that could have been in the Build Back Better program, like forgiving student loans and Medicare and pre-K, and like those things actually help solve some of the systemic stuff that we talk about. Now, for me, it's like I am like full on like money in politics is ruining everything. Like 1,000. Like there's nothing we
can't get any of those things without getting money out of politics.
I know,
because for all those agendas to be met, you have to eliminate the funding, the black money and the funding of these politicians. That's the bottom line. I mean, listen, it's frustrating because it's like the Democrats do it to themselves, man. I mean, remember $2,000 checks? Remember that? Remember when that was a they failed at that. They failed at the infrastructure bill. They failed at Build Back Better. They still haven't passed student loan forgiveness. They still haven't raised the minimum wage. They still have done nothing to address the economic issues. It's just like it's a problem. And I know that this may seem hyperbolic. And I said yesterday on the Vanguard, I'm like, how's that Joe Biden win treating everybody? How's that going for everybody? Are we that much better off without Trump? Yeah, I know Trump is horrible. We get it. And he says stupid shit and he's a racist and he's this and he's that. I mean, listen, whatever adjectives you want to use to describe him, but are we better right now? Are we much better today than we were last year?
A lot of communities are not. Yeah, a lot of communities are not, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like I'm. This is just exposing the issues and the fallacies of our political system. It's like you literally have two parties who are inept for different reasons,
right?
And it's just so tiring. It's tiring. It's draining. It's
exhausting.
It's
exhausting because it's like, how do you fix that, right? Well, you have to get the numbers on your side. And for instance, we had, I think was it 7 people who voted against the bill in the House of Representatives?
Mhm.
But like it didn't do anything.
But
You know,
but but I keep bringing up Joe Biden because he is at the forefront of this. Because
yeah,
remember, Joe Biden, it's his economic agenda. Number
right.
one, number two. I thought that Joe Biden was elected in part because he could sit down with the Mitch McConnells of the world. He's been in the Senate for 40 years and
Yeah.
he's this and that and and it's like he's failing at this just as much if more than anybody else.
Right.
Like where is Joe Biden? Have you heard from him? Have you seen him? Have you talked? And Kamala's in witness protection. God forbid. She got the black vote and just dipped out.
They're gonna get smoked in 2022, and honestly, and probably 2024.
They're gonna lose in 2024. Forget 2022. 2022 is written. They're gonna have their asses kicked in 22. Now the problem is 2024, and what I keep telling you, people, the next Trump is going to be more sophisticated.
Yep.
Well funded.
Yep.
Well organized.
Yep.
And it's going to hand the Democrats their ass, and that could be Ron DeSantis. That could be Rick Scott.
Holly,
name a guy. I think, and
Crenshaw.
especially Crenshaw's an idiot, so no, he won't go there.
They all are.
Well, they all are, but Crenshaw's a special. But when I say Dan Crenshaw's a special kind of idiot, he's a special kind of idiot. But they all are. No. This is my thing. If are we sure that Biden's going to be awake by the time 2024 gets here? Because I don't think he's going to be awake. So they're going
to. That's the thing. Even if he is awake, I don't like his chances.
Their only chance is for Biden to run, because if he decides to step away,
and Kamala,
it's Kamala or
she
Pete,
can get smashed. You can get smashed.
She might not. She's going to get primaried, as she should,
yeah.
And she will lose the primary, which will be an embarrassment.
Well, maybe she won't because she's a Kappa.
Oh,
yeah. So she'll get the black vote.
Oh, and she was in college listening to Tupac,
right?
Even though she was in college 4 years before Tupac came out.
Exactly.
But hey, it is what it is. And but no, yeah, you're right. She's gonna do just fine because she's a yes queen. She's Madam Vice President.
Right.
It's just, God, I hate it. I hate it here. Oh my God, I hate it here. I hate it here.
Working in the criminal justice system, she knows how to infiltrate it and fix it from the inside.
You know what? Here's one thing. I think only one person that I know of was excited this past week to hear about the Henry Ruggs situation, and that was Kamala Harris. It's another young black male that's going to jail, baby.
Oh my God.
It's Kamala Harris. I'm sorry. It's too soon.
No, that was an A+ joke.
It's Kamala.
But
she probably wants to sign up to be on the prosecuting team.
Right, Manny. But you might want to cut this because you might get canceled.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I might get the Kamala hive, the
K hive,
the K hive. Yeah, I might get the K hive after me. Oh, I don't care. I've been saying my shit about. I'm like, have we seen her? Have we? How many? And the times we've seen her, she's had horrible interviews.
The only time I've seen Kamala, the only time throughout this whole presidency, is her telling immigrants not to fucking come here. That's the only fucking time I've seen her. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Like, I'm laughing but crying on the inside.
Oh yeah, we're both crying. We're dying on the inside. Fuck crying. I've passed the point. I'm dead on the inside. I'm just
dying.
I'm a corpse inside now at this point.
Bro, I'm telling you, I say this all the time, and a lot of people disagree with me on this. This is probably my most contested, well, not my most contested, but my unpopular opinions on voting. I do not blame anybody for not voting. I'm sorry. I don't blame them. I do not.
Listen, this is a moment here, guys, because me and Josh have been doing this show on and off now for 2 years. And Josh was always gotta vote, gotta go out there, civic duty, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like that person too. But I've always been the type of person that says, I don't blame somebody for not voting.
Yeah, I can't.
Because you have to earn a voter's vote. They shouldn't just arbitrarily go vote. And Josh is always like, no, man, you gotta do what you and if you've lost Josh, you've lost the country.
Because my thing is like, let's just say you're a poor black single mother in Detroit, Michigan right now. right? And you voted for Joe Biden because
Mm-hmm.
not because Trump
He
was
was great.
racist, right? Not because you thought Trump was racist, just because you saw what Biden was proposing and you said, you know what, this is what we need in our communities. He hasn't delivered on anything. Not really. I mean, child tax credits, whatever.
That's the best thing he's done.
They're a little like that, and that's the thing with the Democrats, right? They give you like a couple of crumbs.
But we're so past that at this point. Like,
and that's my point now.
It's stuff. Like,
and I think the vibe around, especially around like my black friends, and this is anecdotal, so I don't know what data says on this. I don't know what polling says on this, so don't take my word that this is representative of the whole country. Right. But my black friends are like tired of it. They don't see the point in voting anymore. It's like all they do is they get pandered to. They vote Democrat because it's the lesser of two evils in their eyes, because they look at the Republican leadership and like, well, at least they don't fucking hate me like the other side does. And then when they vote Democrat, it's
at least outwardly.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No, man, it's not anecdotal. I think if you look at the polls and if you look at Tuesday's results, I think you can see that there's just at best there's apathy on the left. There's really apathy because I think people have just figured it out. Like that, people are just tired, man. They're defeated. It's defeated. It's like after all that we've been through, and it's like we get given this stiff who's done nothing, literally has done nothing. The country's worse off than it was under Trump, which is saying a lot.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. Worse.
The economy is shitty. Look at the economy. Now, okay, you want to
what metric of the economy?
Be fair. We are in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah.
So that has to factor in. But look at the economy. Look at the jobs report.
I just read the jobs report's a good one this time around.
It's getting better, but it's still not where it needs to be. The gas prices are up. Like these are all things that factor in. Just talk to anybody right now. You think the country's in a good space right now? No. We can't even decide if we're going to wear a mask. We're not going to wear a mask. We can't decide if we want to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. It's just a mess. It's a shit show.
To me,
is it solely Joe Biden? No.
No, to me, that's the right winning the culture war. To me, that's what that is.
No, I don't even say they're winning the culture war by definition, but I would say it's the left and the health community dropping the ball. Because I've said it from the beginning, the messaging on this is terrible. And now Fauci's lost all credibility because he just can't help himself. It's just it's tiring, man. It's like tiring. I don't even know what else to say. I wish I could. I was on the Vanguard yesterday, and I was just at my lowest. Like I just had no hope, no energy, no positivity to share. Because it's like, what can we say? You know, even this infrastructure bill. It's like, why even pass it at this point? It's so far removed. It's so far stripped. Even the child tax credit, they've extended it for a year. Right. Universal pre-K still not on. Still not a guarantee to pass. Like it's like for what? Like why?
Internet,
just, you know what?
Internet. Because not everybody has a phone in their fucking hands. Broadband's really important, man.
Oh my god! I hate it. I hate this country right now. I really do.
We didn't get childcare or pre-K or Medicare expansion or student loan forgiveness
but yet we can't tax billionaires and the military industrial complex budget. It's still
hey, this bill did not raise taxes.
Yay. Oh man!
I get it, man. There's nothing. I think that's the difference too. Like, because even the good stuff in this bill, and a lot of people vote on emotion. A lot of people vote on like what they can feel and what is material in their world. There's nothing really material that anyone could. I wouldn't say anyone, that a lot of people are going to be able to take away and say, this bill legitimately changed my life in this sort of way. I think a lot of America, or most of America, is going to have this bill passed and not even notice that it was passed.
Well, because you can't tell what the fuck is in the bill because it's they've just made it that way. Right. And then it's like, listen, politics is not difficult. Improve people's material conditions and people will vote for you. People will be happy. Again, we're still in a terrible economy. I don't know. I think it would probably help to, have stimulus checks still going out to people, but no, we can't do that. We can provide stimulus packages for corporations and the rich, but God forbid, Gina, single mom, 3 kids, barely struggling to make it, she can't get a handout, God forbid,
Right.
because we wouldn't want her to be a welfare queen. Got it. We have people saying, oh, nobody wants to work, even though wages are still at the lowest they've ever been. And we still can't get a national hike in the, national minimum wage. But, nobody wants to work, Josh. I don't know if you heard it, but nobody wants to work. The moratoriums have all been lifted. So people are out of their homes or struggling to get their situations back in order. I mean, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And again, I don't see where there's a solution in sight. I don't see where there's a solution in sight.
I think that's the thing that's got me most jaded too. I agree with you in that scenario where it's like, I mean, even the people who, and I'm not saying you were high on them. I was probably higher on like the squad than you were, but even like that group, you kind of get excited because you see people who kind of, if not have the same exact ideology as you do, and to see them just not even make a dent in anything, really. I mean, Cori Bush, she sat outside of Congress for 2 days and slept outside for what? You know what I mean? Like AOC wears a dress to the gala saying tax the rich for what? Like it's like
performative. It's performative bullshit, man. Yeah. That's all it is. And I was high on the squad. I was just like you. I believed in the squad. I believed that this time it would be different. And they just and again, it's like for what? They've and I don't even think it's them. I just think that they
it's not. We don't have enough numbers. We don't have the numbers.
And they don't have the power. And they're not willing to be disliked. Like when you advertise yourself as I am going to be the apple cart that upsets the system, you can't go into the system and then call Nancy Pelosi Mama Bear. That's just not. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to be hated. You got to be willing to say, I don't give a fuck. This needs to change. Yeah. And if I don't care, if you don't put me on committee assignments, I don't care if you don't want to, if you're going to try to fund people to primary me, I don't care. Because this is what I stand for. This is what the people that in the Southern District of this place or in this congressional district or that congressional district, this is what they voted for me to do. That's what you need to be. And if you're not willing to be that, then you failed.
That's why I like Nina a lot. That's why I wish Nina got in.
Yeah, listen, I love Nina, but she took TYT's money at the end of the day, and now she's on TYT. I can't forgive Tina for that. that's like she's that's like basically just getting a job at MSNBC at this point. Like,
you think so? TYT's on that level?
Yeah, they're on that level now. It's like
I never really watched it. I like Anna. Outside of Anna, I'm not really.
I liked Anna, but even recently, Anna's just been like, listen, I used to love TYT, but
I don't watch them.
It's not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore, and they're getting funded by corporate interests anyway. It's been discovered, even. So
I'll watch something that Anna's on. Like if she's interviewed by someone else, I'll watch that, but I won't watch a program.
Yeah, I'm defeated, bro. I just really am. I don't know. I wish I had the energy, but I just don't. I don't have the energy anymore, man, because it's like, what's the point? What's the point? It's like,
I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that this week too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it's like no matter what happens, they're still gonna find a way to blame us. We didn't come out.
I think that's the disheartening thing of it all, where it's just kind of like, how do you blame?
And then it's like they do, and that's what pisses me off about the squad and progressive members of Congress in general. It's like they do all these things just to be liked by the establishment, and then it's like they don't give a fuck. They still don't like you. They're never going to support you. Right. They fear you. You are their enemy. You are more their enemy than the right, and it's never going to change.
Yeah.
And this is for Pramila Jayapal, and this is for the whole squad, and this is for everybody in there that calls himself a progressive. It's like they don't like you. They don't care about you. You're an enemy. You are an obstacle in what they're trying to accomplish. And you can try to make them like you. They're never going to like you.
I honestly think we're a generation away from making the party more progressive. I think a lot of the people who are holding back are, these 70-year-old white men in Congress, these Democrats like Joe Manchin, who basically are pretty much conservatives just as Democrats.
I mean, look at the most
powerful people. As a new generation comes in, that's when we're going to have more progressive policies and things of that nature. But it's going to take at least a generation for sure.
Look at who are the most powerful people in our government right now that are making decisions, not just for us, but the generation following us and our kids. Joe Biden, who's basically 80, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, all the Supreme Court as a whole, besides what Sotomayor and the two new ones that Trump appointed.
Right, the two new ones are conservative.
Yeah, that are conservative. Like,
yeah.
Look at the age of these people. And listen, I'm not even one of those people that like, oh, age, because Pete Buttigieg is our age and he's fucking vapid and offers nothing. Right. So it's not even about age, but it's like, look at these are the people that are deciding our laws and what our country's going to stand for.
They're outdated.
What it's going to be. It's just outdated. It's outdated.
Even if they have good intentions, it's outdated. It's like watching The View. Like I watched The View and I don't watch The View, but I'll watch highlights from like Sam Cedar or whatever. And I'll watch The View and I think they have good intentions, but they're so outdated in their way of thinking that it's
because they're geared towards 65-year-old women who sit at home and
exactly. Like I'll have a conversation with I bring my father up a lot on the show. I realize because he votes Democrat because he's big on union. He's a big union guy, and he wouldn't vote Democrat if it wasn't for that. If I'm being honest with you, but even he and I you would think we were opposed in our parties based off our conversations that we have because he's so set in his ways and anything that I bring to the table or any ideas that I bring to the table are so radical to him that they think it's gonna I don't know, just like mess up the fabric of the country.
I love how they always say, well, how are you gonna pay for that? How are you gonna pay for that? What? Universal pre-K? Who's gonna pay for that?
My dad more just goes like, oh, that's not gonna happen. Like he doesn't even give a reason. He just knows that it's not gonna happen.
But I just love the ones that always say, like, how are you gonna pay for that? Like we never, when we bomb Syria or we bomb Lebanon or we bomb whatever country in the Middle East, we never say, how are we gonna pay for that? No one ever asks that question. But when it comes to real policies to help real working people, how are you gonna pay for that? Students, college, free college? Who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for that?
Right. No, I'm with you, man.
I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I wish, for the folks watching, I wish that I had more positive vibes to end the show, but I don't.
No, there's nothing positive about it.
There's nothing positive.
Unless you do believe that Joe Biden's going to sign a few executive orders that, coincide with his Build Back Better program.
Is Joe Biden awake? That's the question we all have to ask. Is he awake? Is he up? He probably watched Matlock and then went to bed, went night-night, and that's it.
Hold on. Serious question. There's another part to this infrastructure plan, though, right? There's what's the second part?
There's the infrastructure. There's the infrastructure plan itself, and then there's the Build Back Better plan.
Okay. So the infrastructure is the one that just passed through the House.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Build Back Better one, they're still negotiating.
They're still negotiating.
I think the 15th.
And that's the one. And that's the one that has the, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one that has the not the child tax credit, but the universal pre-K.
Yeah, they threw that in the last, right? They were like, "Oh, we'll give you this."
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Oh man, but hey, at least we found out Aaron Rodgers is okay. So maybe let's get
he'll save the country.
Let's save Rodgers to save us. Aaron Rodgers will save us.
Oh God,
Aaron Rodgers will save us. This world, this country we're in, man. Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get out of here. I think we've talked about this enough. I hate to end the show on such a bummer between Aaron Rodgers being an idiot.
It's the week that was, man. It was the week that was.
Henry Ruggs, the Democratic Party. Yeah. It's.
Don't get me started about Travis Scott.
We might have to save that for another day. Yeah. We might have to come back next week with that one because man. Yeah. Anyways, man, let's get up out of here. Tell the listeners, the audience, where they can find you and what you got going on.
Yeah. Well, I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. As you can see right here. Got my podcast, A Dime with Josh Rodriguez. It's an NBA podcast. If you enjoy talking basketball or listening to people talking basketball, you can follow it at The Dime NBA, and you can find it on any podcast app, The Dime with Josh Rodriguez, and you can check out Certified Buckets, which is the podcast I produce for Uninterrupted.
Yes, sir. And of course, I'm Manny Brown, host of this great show here, Any Given Sunday. Also, contributor on Dead End Sports, which is live on YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays every day, every week on YouTube. Go to Dead End Sports YouTube page to watch me along with the rest of the gang. Also on MLBBro.com, we're getting ready to start our off-season coverage, so that'll be fun. So make sure you go check it out, MLBBro.com, just the way it sounds, MLBBro.com. And also go follow MLBBro.com on Twitter. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter right there at @TheEmmanuelBrown. Follow me on Instagram at @TheEmmanuelBrown, and then also go subscribe and follow this show on Twitter at AGSPod, AGS Podcast on Instagram. And of course, as always, if you guys like what we're doing here, you like the show, please go subscribe on all podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you find your podcast. We are there. iHeart, everywhere. We are everywhere. Go subscribe and also drop us a like too. If you like what we're doing, please leave a comment. Five stars across the board. Let us know. It also helps the show be found by other people who haven't found us yet. So definitely reviews and likes. We're here for that every day. And subscribe to the YouTube page as well. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff for more content. We drop videos and clips of the show. If you can't catch the show in real time while it's live, obviously you can catch the podcast version, which goes up either a few hours or the next day. And then, of course, we cut videos of the different parts of the show throughout the week. So, yeah, definitely go like and subscribe the YouTube channel, Any Given Sunday podcast on YouTube. So, yeah, I think that's everything, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, we are going to get up out of here. We'll be back next week with another episode of the podcast. For Josh Rodriguez, I am Manny Brown. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.